I think there is a very well, there's obviously a very dedicated community of people who are interested in the Commodore 64,
Right.
but there's also a lot of people who sort of have a passing interest in weird old tech. Like you'll see videos. A great example is a while back there were these videos that came out of what happens if I connect a Windows XP system to the internet.
Yep.
And a lot of those videos like really popped off, not because XP is something that anyone really cares about, but it's sort of like people know about XP, they're aware of
Right.
it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, what happens if I actually do this?" And there is that like very dedicated niche of people who do really care about XP. So you get that like initial interest in it, and then the people with passing interest, it gets to them, and they're like, "Oh, that seems like a weird, cool thing to check out," and they give it a look, I guess.
Yep. No, that totally makes sense. The it's just kind of it's funny, I
Hmm.
think, how the I think the YouTube algorithm is something I'll never understand. And like I think I'm done trying to. It's gonna be a thing where like I just kind of do the thing I want to talk about.
Mhm.
Like I'm sitting here looking at this. I got this goofy piece of hardware here.
Hmm.
And what this does is it converts a Sega Genesis controller to something an Amiga or a Commodore 64 can use.
Mhm.
And it's such a small thing, but there's a ton of really interesting like science behind it.
Mhm.
Why does this work? Why is it necessary? Who came up with it? How does, why can't you just plug one in directly? Like this port, the DE9 port
Mhm.
was at one point the standard before like serial and USB. Like this was kind of the de facto every console had that port on it.
Hmm.
Um there's at least 8 videos in that. But like will people watch them? And
Mm.
it's kind of like I don't know if I care anymore. Like I want to talk about it. And I think when I spend a lot of time, I think this might be true with everybody.
Hmm.
If not, I apologize to everybody. But when you spend a lot of time sitting there thinking about what's going to do well,
Hmm.
that's time you're not spending creating.
Mm.
And I think that I think that I need to, like, kinda get past that, and I think a
Mhm.
lot of people, can relate to that, that it's like, "Oh, I might be spending too much time in the planning stage
Right.
and not enough time in the actually making your art or actually doing that thing stage,"
Mhm.
and like, right now, I'm doing a house project. We're ripping up our kitchen up there.
Mhm.
Um, I'm stuck in the basement, and, so we're ripping up the kitchen, and it's like, you spend a year planning it,
Mm.
and then the work is, like, 15 minutes, and it's like, "Why'd I spend a year planning this?
Mhm. Mhm.
I should've just started."
Yeah, this is actually really a really good point because I've had people come to me ask like, "Oh, how do I start a YouTube channel? How do I get started? What do I do?" And then like 6 months later, they're still thinking about that first
Yep,
video. And at the end of the day, the first video you make is probably going to be bad, right? Like you can
yep,
sit there work on it for 2 years and you're probably not going to make the best thing you're going to make because you don't really have that experience in actually creating not just one thing, but a range of different things that all
right,
inform sort of the direction you want to take things, that develop your own style. And you kind of need to have that like baseline level of experience before you're going to be ready to make something you really want to make. And a lot of people, they get really caught up in making that first thing the perfect thing,
Yep.
and it never gets released. They never actually follow through with it.
I think that's a lot of it, and, like, I know I can speak to my own experience with it where it's like, I first had the idea of doing a YouTube channel, like, in, I think, 2014, 2015,
Mhm, mhm.
and I didn't actually publish my first video, I think, until 2021, and it was just because I was sitting there thinking, "Oh, well, what kinda camera do I wanna use? Oh, well, what kinda microphone do I wanna use? Oh, well, what kinda stuff do I wanna cover? Like, do I ever wanna talk about Windows? I probably don't wanna talk about Windows. Do I ever wanna do, like, the kind of news, like, tech news? I probably don't wanna talk about tech news. Like, do
Mhm.
I wanna talk about tech news? I don't know if I wanna talk, like, and I spend a lot of time on that, and that was all time. It was embryonic.
Mm.
But, like, at the same time, I think the cake baked in the oven for a really long time, and I don't know that that made the cake taste any better.
Mhm, mhm.
Like, I think at the end of the day, it just start doing the thing.
Yeah, there's absolutely value in thinking about some of that early stuff, but you can definitely get caught up in it thinking it's more valuable than it actually is, and just
Right.
not actually doing it's not just with that, right? Like, you can think about it with, you wanna start a band, right?
Yep.
And you're like, "Okay," you and your friends are together, you're like, "Okay, we're gonna start this band," and then you kinda just don't really do anything with it. You never write a
Absolutely.
song, you never perform, you never really actually commit to doing the thing.
Yep. 100%. That's totally I'm in a band.
Mm.
And my band, um, we all live in different parts of the country here in the United States. Like, I'm in a band with other YouTubers. It's
Mm.
actually we recently decided we're going to refer to ourselves as the RetroTube Faculty Band. And so it's four YouTubers getting on stage at vintage computer festivals and being silly.
Mhm.
And it's taken me like a year to put out the EP.
Mhm.
A big part of that is that I spend so much time on the which microphone do I want to use for this?
Mhm.
Oh, which delay pedal do I want for this? And it's endless mental deliberation. And luckily, my bandmates prod me along. And that helps.
That is the nice
Um
thing of having other people involved, yeah.
Yep. And that's been a positive in my life.
Mhm.
So, is I think that's a really good thing. But no, it's all kinds of fun when we actually get to be on stage together. And I only wish, like, the only thing I wish were different is that we lived in the same geographic vicinity and could actually get
Right,
together
right.
easier, because it is literally like we got time zones different, but we also have like the middle between all of our points is probably Chicago, Illinois,
Mm.
and even that's an 8 to 12-hour drive.
Mm.
Like, that's kinda rough to just kinda get together and hang out and do stuff,
Mhm.
so makes it kinda hard.